Hey everybody, welcome back. So if you've been watching my videos, you've probably heard me moan and complain that I'd given away my old drill press. And while I do kind of miss having a drill press around, I certainly didn't miss that one and I wouldn't want it back, and I'm still glad I gave it away because I hated it. It was an old Harbor Freight Central Machinery 8-inch drill press. The chuck had a ton of run out in it, probably had 30, 40 thousandths worth of run out. It was horrible. When I bought it and I saw it, my brother said, "Oh, I have the parts to fix that." And of course, that never happened. And by then, the warranty was over. I just despised the thing and I hated every second of using it. And I apologized to the person I gave it to because I'm sure they hate it as much as me. Anyway, I have been haunting Craigslist and OfferUp for a better drill press at a good price. I missed out on a couple because I couldn't get there quick enough. And finally, a couple nights ago, I scored. This is an older Ryobi 10-inch drill press. It's like hardly been used. I think it's sat its life. It's probably at least 12, 15 years old because it's before Ryobi started painting things that lime green. It's got the light on it. And kind of funny, the guy's got a chandelier light bulb in it. It's got the light on it, and it's got the laser targeting system, which is actually lined up perfectly. And it sat an awful lot. There is so little run out in that chuck, it might as well not even have any at all. It is really smooth. It's got the crank up and down handle system. It's got 5 speeds. It's got a stop setting where you can, a depth setting, and it is in super nice condition. The only real problem it had was this collar, and this collar retains this toothed plate so that when you crank it up, it doesn't just crank the tooth plate up instead of cranking the base up and down. It was cracked right down the center where the set screw goes in, probably from somebody over tightening it. I popped the head of this off, slid this off, ground the V in it, welded it with one of the flux core welders, filed the hole back out, retapped it, put it back in, and it is, once again, nice and solid. So that was a quick, easy fix, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with it otherwise. I paid $40 for it. I'm thrilled to get it. Now I have another problem. I want all 3 of these tools out and ready for me to use all the time. I was thinking I wasn't going to use this that much, but I got to tell you, since I've had it on that stand, I find it incredibly useful. Plug it in, flip it on, cut something, you're done, you're gone. There's no vicing, there's no plug getting tools that are put away out. It's just so quick and easy, it's great. I think I am probably going to make the plate to go there to give myself a little bit more space, but these are 3 tools that I think I'm going to use fairly often, and I want them out, but they can't live on my workbench because, well, that's my workbench. I could go out and buy another workbench. I could buy another one of these my little desktop mill is setting on. I could buy something like that, but I've got this thing here. This thing is one of the $40 or $37, I think, Harbor Freight tool stands. That one needs a little bit of squaring up, doesn't it? Nonetheless, and it's got a board on it. I got that from a buddy of mine. He bought it, didn't use it for a while, didn't want it. And I'm thinking, I could get another one of these and then put some wood between it. And then I could mount all 3 of them on it. It could go in that empty space there. And I'd be a happy camper because I could have all 3 of those out. Then I thought to myself, being the cheapskate that I am, what if I were to get the board that I was going to put between them, mounted it there, so in the center, could I put the heaviest one, the drill press, in the center and the 2 lighter ones off to the side? And I thought to myself, it's worth a shot. You're going to spend the money for the wood anyway, and don't start me on buying wood down at Lowe's. I mean, that is just barely above firewood grade. It's horrible. Lowe's, you should be ashamed of yourself even putting that on the shelf and calling it lumber. Anyway, I think I'm going to try that. I got myself the bare above grade firewood over there. I had to sort through like 25 of them before I found one I thought was even worth $20. And I'm going to try cutting that in half, mounting that across, and putting all three on it. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? It could be a little bit too tippy, and I wound up having to go down to Harbor Freight and buy the other stand, and then moving the board so that they're, the stands are at the ends. But anyway, I'm going to give that a go. Let's give it a shot, see what happens. So what do you think? How bad of an idea is this, really? It's not tippy in any way, shape, or form. Nothing's bolted down yet, but it's not tippy. I don't feel like there's any danger of it going anywhere. That stand, they say, is capable of holding 300 pounds, and the three of those certainly are not 300 pounds. They're probably maybe half of that. So I'm not really feeling too bad about that. I think I'm going to go ahead and bolt them all down there, and we'll see. I think I'm going to put just 2 bolts or maybe some U-clamps around that. I'll have to think about that. And just 2 bolts on the drill press, one there and one there, I think is all it needs. And the belt sander only has bolt holes in the very front and the very rear, so I'll probably put all 4 bolts in that. So there it is, finished and yet still unfinished. It's all screwed and glued. I put more screws in that fiberboard that hold it onto the stand and go all the way into the 2x10, and I screwed the fiberboard to the 2x10 out around its perimeter. I also put some 2x4 stiffeners out on the end, and I thought just for sport and amusement I would go ahead and put the heavier of the 2 items that's going to go off-centered onto the end and just sit it there, and it's perfectly fine. It's not, I mean, it's a little tippy. If you shoved on it hard, it would tip over. But I'm going to offset that weight on the other side with the bandsaw. And of course, that humongous heavy drill press is going to be in the center. So I think that's going to be okay. Okay, I've got them all mounted down. And yes, before you tell me in the comment section, I know they're too close together. But this is a 1-car garage, and I've got a lot of equipment out here and 2 motorcycles. So you know what? I just don't have the room to spread out that I'd like to. However, this is a portable bandsaw. It's just held down with 2 J-hooks and wing nuts on the bottom, so it can easily be moved. It's not that heavy. This top can be folded down on the belt sander so I can get more room for the drill press if necessary. And you know what? When you work with the limited amount of space I have, you do what you got to do, and I have the chop saw attachment for the bandsaw underneath of it. Anyway, I'm just so happy to have them up off of the floor and floating around loose and tripping over them and, vibrating all over when you try and use them, and to have the drill press too. I'm just really, really happy that they're mounted, and they're mounted solid. And this thing's pretty solid. I wouldn't say I could sit on that, but I can put a boatload of weight on it and it's not moving. And that would be the heavy end down there. So I'm pretty happy with it. It's nowhere near as sketchy as I was afraid it was going to be. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm back to finish up that welding machine comparison, and I'll catch you in that one. Bye for now.